start off with who you are and what you do.
I'm Wes Harris, founder, CEO of Axle. Used to be known as Sport Ear, but changed over to Axle Hearing Innovations, hearing performance products. So we really focus on all things hearing, mostly to the outdoor sporting good arena. Focus on a lot with hunting, shooting, tactical guys, earplugs, earmuffs, earbuds, really ultra high-end hearing aids with protection, Bluetooth, all that in it, right?
How big is Axle?
How so? Revenue-wise? Took it up to about 10 million, then I took it back down to 1 million to get the model right, the way that I wanted. And then we've come back up and we kind of bounce in a $3 to $4 million space.
He said what would be worse is if you got to 30 million, then you hit the stock market, and then you do 20 million the next year. He said that you'd be far better off to have only gotten 20 million total.
In 2020, I'm gonna blow it up.
So this is kind of where we do all of our packaging and shipping. This is Zan and Jess. They help us out with packaging. So in this area and section, we do a little bit of customer support, and they're going to help with some incoming calls. And we actually have a 3D printer, and so what happens is they'll send us their molds, and we'll put them right in here. It'll spit out the shell, and it can be done in just a couple minutes. Right over here, our front desk. So this is where all the phones are answered. So if incoming calls, and she directs them to the right person. Whether if it's assistance or sales, or they just need an address or anything like that.
I sold a million of those, that style, all over the world. And so it's just a really good, solid, basic, simple design that does the job.
But he kind of reconfirmed that the strategy of continual growth is far better than explosive growth and then going back.
And then falling off. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't like the idea of saying, hey, we could be to $60 million in a year from now and choose to stay at $10 million. Like, I'll never like that idea.
Talk a little bit about your childhood. What was that like?
Well, we're kind of sitting in the middle of where my childhood was. I grew up at the mouth of Provo Canyon in Provo, Utah. We kind of grew up in a wild adventure land. I think Provo, Utah is the coolest place on the planet. I've always just been coming up with my own thing. Got married at 22 years old, and things never really came together the way that I wanted until I became very, very specific on exactly what I wanted.
What's the legacy your parents have left for you?
So my mom just passed away about 3 weeks ago. My dad's still living here, and he's 88 years old. But I followed my dad into the hearing aid industry about 26 years ago, and I've kind of known my whole life that I would follow him in.
I thank you so very much for helping me so I can hear again. It was very difficult for me when I couldn't hear, but now I can hear again. It's very nice that you helped me.
Was able to make a sale here and a sale there that was good enough to kind of keep me going, and I'd go out and figure out how to come up with home appointments and go test people's hearing in their home, and I'd sell about 1 out of every 5 people, and that was enough to kind of keep me living and moving forward. I'd been in the hearing aid industry, and I'd had the dominant chain of hearing aid centers in Utah, where I lived between about 4 different counties. I was running 3 of the counties, and my dad was running 1 of the counties, and the 2 of us just tag teamed and dominated that on TV, newspaper, direct mail, and among probably 200 competitors, we had like 35% market share. But I knew it wasn't the right business model. I was doing good. I was making a ton of money at a young age. But I didn't really feel like I had a mastery on business, even though I was doing great and people knew me as one of the best in the industry. And I still wanted a different business model that fixed some of the brick and mortar problems of the hearing aid industry. you know, and just brick and mortar, you know, having to drive tons of traffic to a store and hire more staff than I needed, just a lot of fixed heavy costs and not something I could really turn into a business that I could own it. It's like I had to be in there working hard to make good money. Otherwise, if I stepped out of it at all, then it would tank and start losing money. And that's never the type of business that I wanted to have. I wanted to have a business where I could go in every day, be a business owner, work on the business, work to perfect it, polish it, fine-tune it, dial it in. I'd been working on the concept for several years, just getting things lined up so I could do it. And that company is called Sport Ear.
New breakthroughs in hearing aid technology. With us, we have an expert on the topic, Weston Harris. Weston?
The concept was to go out there and tie in hearing protection into cutting-edge hearing aids. And so I went through that and then hired 2 or 3 people in the spring of 2000 to come in and help me. And then about 6 months later, ran into Ray.
Introduce you to Ray Borey with Sport Ear.
How you doing, Jeff?
Good, Ray. Let me take my ears out. I love these things. So, we've been using, obviously, Sport Ears up here on Mike and Blake's elk hunt. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit more about some of the various products Sport Ear can offer them?
Oh, I'd love to, Jeff. Basically, what we've got is a full line of hearing enhancement and hearing protection.
NRA, men's channel or outdoor channel, half-hour, 30-minute infomercial. No, we turned that in the first 18 months into about a $2 million a year business.
They filming a how to do video or how not to do video?
It's a how not to do it video.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm the star.
Today we're showing off the GS Extreme. If you can see it right down there, it's a very small hearing enhancement, hearing protection device that also has Bluetooth. So it's an exciting product that we launched about a year ago, and we're going to demonstrate it here today.
No problems at all. Gun's clear, ears are safe, no ringing. That's what we call hearing protection.
Our minimum viable product is considerably higher than most other people's minimum viable product of bringing it to the market. And I am the driving force behind every innovation and product that we bring to market as a hearing specialist. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple other things so that you understand the quality of offers that we take people to and the brand and how we go about it. We sell a ton off of this sales page. It just goes through everything, you know, all the normal elements of what are needed, but you can see in the realm of sales and landing pages, this is world class on what we're doing and how we're going about it. And just breaks everything down.
You know, a lot of the hearing protection companies that are kind of visible in the marketplace today are using really old technology.
You know, I can go through and show you 2 or 3 of the newcomers on hearing protection that are out there that have pulled products off the shelf that I created 15 to 20 years ago, and that's what they're selling. One of them even won an award from NRA on it recently, as I've come to understand. The GS Extreme, for what you just mentioned, is a phenomenal product for a phenomenal price point.
In order to make this work and to do this well, we have to link it with our socials. You can turn those ads off when you need to, like with inventory and things of that nature. Is that something that we can incorporate as part of this affiliate program?
Yeah, that won't hurt our feelings at all if we have to turn it off because there's too many sales coming through. Just for the record.
And if in fact we're able to pull a great partnership here together, we would be able to build out a, you know, kind of very specific backcountry hunter style page.
I think that kind of depends. If, you know, as I understand it, you guys have a very dedicated list of, I think he said 37 to 40,000 new waterfowl hunters. So best marketing practice would be that we go in there and we create a sales page for the waterfowlers, that speaks their language.
Thank you guys for your time.
Likewise.
All right, awesome.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, have a good one.
See you guys.
Bye.
When you get in and you build a really nice reputation in your brand, the very last thing that you want to do is rebrand. It's very expensive, it's very confusing to people. It costs a lot of money to redo all your packaging, redo all the messaging, all the advertising. Everybody told me, don't do it. You have such a great reputation in sport here. Don't do it. But those were top experts in the field. But none of them had been listening to the marketplace for the 12, 15 years before that like I had been. I'd go into military and shooters, and sport didn't resonate with them. Guys who were going over to Afghanistan were coming back saying, we need your product and we'll buy it because you're the only game in town. But what we do in Afghanistan is anything but sport. That borders offensive to us,
See him?
And that was a really strong, powerful message to me in branding, that I had to get the branding right that everybody could connect with and relate to. I mean, that's core to it, is great branding and great innovation and direct response marketing principles and knowing your manufacturing. If you have those four things down and products and innovations that people want, offers that your audience wants, you got a home run on your hands.
Yellow. 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 You were probably 4?
I don't know, when did you guys move here? What year did you move here?
1972.
So I was 1 when you guys moved here. I was born 1971.
20 years later.
So Ray and I have been working on this for quite a while and putting it together, and then our other partner, Ken Williams, came in about 8 years ago. But we've just taken a very different approach to this, and we're taking the best of the hearing aid industry, the best of the audio industry, and converting that all into one new innovative line with a really good lifestyle brand.
Interesting. And you guys used to be known as Sportier.
That's right.
Correct.
Okay, I remember stopping by the booth a couple times at SHOT Show, and then all of a sudden I was like, what happened to Sportier? Where did they go?
That was a super painful, hard decision to make of rebranding, because we had so much fan base, Benelli and 6 Hour and NRA and Walmart and all these companies came out and said, we've wanted to work with you guys for years, and now you've given us a brand story that we can get behind and we can do stuff. Things have just started to escalate. Hey, sorry, I've had calls to China that have taken longer this morning. Get over to you, but I know you said between 9 and 11. Is now still okay to talk for a minute? I get leverage buyouts, but candidly, I'm just not interested in somebody buying my business out with my own cash flow. If I go through and I take out taxes and I do all that, and yeah, they give an $18 million valuation, but me personally, I have the most to gain on it, and I get $3.8 million of cash up front, and then they pay me off with cash flow that I'm earning on my own already. No, I get it. A month ago, we turned down an offer for about $18 million on the company, and that group reached back out to us yesterday and said, we want to give you a considerably bigger offer on the company, and we said, no, we're not interested. We have one company that's out of LA, and they've gave me the go-ahead on it this last weekend that they are good to take this public. The day they take it public, it would give me like a personal net worth of between $70 and $100 million. You know, to go out there and become worth $100 million or $200 million or $500 million, or in today's world, $1 billion, like that's never been an inspiring concept to me. But the idea that I could become one of the very best in the world at what I do, like that's always been insanely inspiring to me since my early 20s.
How would your wife describe you?
Crazy.
She thinks you're crazy?
Yeah, just crazy. All the entrepreneur stuff, all the hunting stuff, all that. My wife's quite the opposite from all that. She just looks at it as kind of one big crazy adventure. Who's your audience is the first thing. Second thing is, what are the offers that you need to create for that audience? The third thing is how you reach that audience and put your offers in front of them. The fourth thing is, how do you convert your audiences over to your offers? And the fifth thing is, how do you maintain long-term relationship? So if you take that simple thing of audience, offers, reach, conversion, long-term relationship, and you get in and understand how to do each one of those things, you can grow your income and your personal net worth to any level you want it to be on that simple little formula.
You know, we talked about the retail space and how in the retail space they kind of control
and how it sucks.
Yeah. So why does the retail space suck?
Everybody got put into quarantine with President Trump in spring of 2020. That same week, all of our trade shows, all of our brick and mortar, all of our normal business as we knew it that we relied off of died. People were wondering, are they going to have to go find another job? I was wondering, like, how do I pull this through? I was searching desperately for, how do I pull this off and do it? My son Jake and I went into the office and sent out our first email, and kind of more of a direct response style email of just me writing stories and writing text out to people and driving them over to this sales funnel that we created for this new earbud, that we'd been working on for a while. Jake kind of hit me up a little bit later that morning and said, "Hey, are you seeing what's going on here?" And I said, "No." I said, "I haven't been watching it." And he said, "Well, we're like $6,500 for the morning already." And I said, "Well, what's the ad spend?" And he said, "The ad spend's only like $300-400. And I was like, "Oh, holy cow, are you kidding me? Like what's going on, Don, he and I just had started working together, and he called me back that afternoon, and he said, "I've never seen a launch like this in my life." He's like, "You're getting 38 to 1 ROAS right now. If you know direct response marketing, you're pretty happy if you're getting a 3 to 4 to 1 ROAS. And you can make plenty of money getting a 2.5 to 1 ROAS. And you're making a bloody fortune if you're hitting a 6 to 1 ROAS. So getting a 38 to 1 ROAS was like insane. It just totally gave us this massive spurt, an infusion of cash, that at the first of the summer we had about $1.3 million in debt as a company. By the end of the summer, we were basically debt-free.
COVID crisis has impacted so many industries this year as the virus forced businesses across the country to close their doors.
Obviously, the internet is going to have an important impact on retailing. It will have a huge impact on some forms of retailing, change them and maybe revolutionize them.
I can go out there and I can use video and I can use Hollywood tactics and make it up in lights, larger than life, and I can distract somebody away from whatever they're doing, and I can have their undivided attention on my product, doing demos, doing great testimonials, doing all these great elements that really help win that person over and convert them over. They don't know anything about me. They don't know if I'm a large company or a small company or anything. If I can go out there and be a tiny little guy with $5 in my pocket, and they can be thinking I'm a world-class, genius and big company because of how I craft my offers and my stories and my campaigns. So that's it.
All right, that's it.
I love it. We good?
Yeah, we're good.
Awesome. Thanks, Brent.
So what do you think? It's pretty crazy, right? I mean, if you're ready to go and build your online business right now, all you need to go to is talktotrey.com, where we'll show you how to build a website, find an audience, choose a product, so you can start selling those products worldwide. Learn how to build a sustainable online business today, and we're going to show you how to do it, just like we've shown our students how to do it. All you have to do right now is go to talktotrey.com, and we'll see you on the other side.